I hope everyone is enjoying their Labor Day weekend. I just wanted to do a quick video. It's kind of a response to my last video. I was a little taken aback by some of the comments, and I just wanted to maybe be a little bit clearer. Perhaps I was not in the last video. I wasn't saying that I think Donald Trump should withdraw from Asia. I'm saying that's what he ran on. That's exactly what he said he was going to do. When I said that the U.S. was going to withdraw, that wasn't my opinion of what I believed this man should do. It's what he talked about. It's what he said he wanted to do. And even his own Secretary of State Tillerson said that this was going to be an issue for China to deal with. I don't know why that would confuse anybody. I mean, this was talked about for a very, very long time. I mean, he didn't mince any words about it. He said the TPP was just going to be the tip of the iceberg. He was going to, and this was the group of people that elected him, the nationalists. You know, they were sick to death of the U.S. being involved in this and that and the other all over the world. And if anyone out there thinks that Trump is going to do anything but talk in Twitter about North Korea, think again. It's not what he ran on. It's not what he said he was going to do. He's got a book of him pretty much saying that exact thing, and that's what you elected. It's just, in fact, one of the big issues that people had. I wasn't a fan of Hillary Clinton either, but everybody said, "Oh, she's going to get us into a war. She's going to get us into a war." You know, and the reason that they said they were voting for Trump is because Trump would not get us into a war. And not that I'm blaming him for what North Korea is doing, but he said he was going to tuck tail, turn, and run from this and let China deal with it, that it wasn't in the U.S.'s financial best interest to have 40,000 troops stationed in South Korea. And, you know, the Navy has followed suit with that. I mean, they have already set out a budget that is going to deal with maintaining the ships they have and not build any new ones. That they have set some up to be built, but they're not going to be built for 8 to 10 years. Next year, year after that. This was something the Navy had been talking about for a long time. And these two incidents, for lack of a better term, with the Fitzgerald and the McCain, are just going to give them the reason to do it. They're going to pull back. 60% of the deployed ships in the Navy are deployed in the Pacific region. If they're going to do some cutting, where do you think that's going to be? They're not going to pull them out of Europe, Middle East, or our coasts, that's for sure. Especially with Donald Trump wanting to do more interdiction here, south of the border. I mean, absolutely. I mean, this. If you listen to this man, I'll just play this real quick. You can listen to this man's own words.
We initiated a sustained and continued intensified campaign on what I like to call peaceful pressure, because the options available to us, I think, as all of you well understand, are limited, and particularly if we think we are operating under a short period of time. So we felt the appropriate thing to do first was to seek peaceful pressure on the regime in North Korea, to have them develop a willingness to sit and talk with us and others, but with an understanding that a condition of those talks is there is no future where North Korea holds nuclear weapons or the ability to deliver those nuclear weapons to anyone in the region, much less to the homeland. In doing so, we've sought to partner with China. China does account for 90% of economic activity with North Korea. The Chinese have been very clear with us that we share the same objective, a denuclearized Korean peninsula. They do not see it in their interest for North Korea to have nuclear weapons, just as we do not see it in anyone's interest. China has ways that they can put pressure on and influence the North Korean regime because of this significant economic relationship that no one else has. We've been very clear with the Chinese. We certainly don't blame the Chinese for the situation in North Korea. Only the North Koreans are to blame for this situation. But we do believe China has a special and unique relationship because of this significant economic activity to influence the North Korean regime in ways that no one else can. And that's why we continue to call upon them to use that influence with North Korea to create the conditions where we can have a productive dialogue.
Well, there you go. He said it twice, that no one else can. 90% of economic activity, all this baloney about Trump saying, oh, no, we're going to consider not doing, any business with people who do business with North Korea. What the hell is he talking about? Is he going to stop trade with China? Really? Going to stop trade with Russia and India and Pakistan? Yeah, like India and Pakistan are going to make a difference. How many is this now? How many missile launches and nuclear tests since January? where it was said that this wasn't going to be tolerated in my new administration. Crap. It's a bunch of baloney. He's going to do nothing about it. I mean, he's going to speak to his base, the people out there who, come to my videos and say, oh, Trump's going to do this, Trump's going to not tolerate that. He's just talking smoke to keep you happy. That's all he's doing. He's going to do nothing. That's why he runs his generals out talking about, oh, we'll turn them into a charcoal briquette, or, with massive military response if they do this, if they do that. The whole if is that if they would launch on the U.S., and they're not going to do that because they just had a hydrogen weapon and they blew it up underground inside their own borders to test it. They're developing nuclear weapons. And I'm not excusing what they're doing, but they're going to continue to develop nuclear weapons, and they're going to do so with impunity. This administration will do nothing about it. In fact, that's why the Japanese have just set records the last 4 years with their military budgets every single year, because they know the U.S. is leaving. Or at least they're going to withdraw to the point where the Japanese and the South Koreans are going to have to take care of themselves or turn to China to do it, just like Mr. Tillerson just said. And this is what this guy ran on. This is what he said he was going to do. And then all of a sudden, all of his supporters are saying we need to, launch or military action or do this or that or the other. That's not what you elected. You elected a xenophobic nationalist that's going to withdraw and let those countries deal with it themselves. And whatever this, the results of that, that's what it's going to be. It's not even an option, really. This is a map of the artillery pieces in North Korea and their distance to Seoul and Incheon and Yeonchan and all these heavily populated areas. I mean, unless you were talking about popping up a U.S. sub over here and just start dropping nuclear weapon after nuclear weapon after nuclear weapon all along this border right here, just to make sure they don't fire one shot and irradiate this entire area, which is kind of counterproductive, there's going to be nothing you could really do militarily anyway that wouldn't cause massive loss of life, which is what Mattis said last time they launched a missile. He said there's no military response, there's nothing the U.S. can do that won't result in tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of people dying. And that's just the case. And why you would think that Donald Trump would do it anyway, based on what he ran on, based on everything he said he was going to do, is just... I'm confused. Maybe somebody can clear me up on that. Why you thought that he was going to do anything but what he's doing, which is absolutely nothing. Well, I mean, other than Twitter. I mean, that's what he does well, is make threats on Twitter. He doesn't actually do anything except fly planes with dummy bombs. Sails a couple of aircraft carrier groups over there to do absolutely nothing and turn around and come back. I mean, how many times is it going to take? I mean, do we have to let them actually get an entire stable of ICBMs tipped with hydrogen bombs? Oh, but wait, you see, as long as they just develop them and don't launch them at the U.S., according to the current administration, that's okay. Because based on their actions, it's okay, because that's what they've done, and nothing is going to be done. I know a lot of you think we're on the brink of World War III. We're not. I mean, on the brink in the sense of, 5 to 10 years from now, but not now. Just because there's no win for him in this. It's a whole nother issue with the man's psyche. But he just can't deal with process these kinds of decisions. So, and that's my whole opinion, but just it is what it is. But I just wanted to clear this up in people's minds that this was something that he talked about, and people listened. And when he got elected, that's why they decided they were going to start taking their own futures into their own hands and turning away from the U.S. and turning towards China. And with Trump, then saying we're going to get out of the TPP and let China completely dominate that entire region financially, I don't know why you would think we would then even have an interest to keep our military there in the next 10 to 15 years. It makes absolutely no sense. So, anyway, 10-minute video. Have a very happy Labor Day. Really appreciate all the support. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thank you.